The story you are about to hear is true and is intended only for informational purposes. Some of the names, locations, and other details have been changed or omitted in efforts to protect the innocent. Today's story is about Philadelphia convicted murderer Martina Westcott of the Roxborough section of Philadelphia. According to court documents, on December 21, 2016, the victim, a 33-year-old real estate agent from Philadelphia, broke up with his girlfriend Martina Westcott through text message. After receiving the text message, Miss Westcott, the Ivy League-educated 27-year-old city employee, repeatedly texted and called the victim, begging him to agree to see her. Miss Westcott's last phone call to the victim was on the morning of December 27, 2016. That afternoon, at about 12:30 p.m., the victim was driving his vehicle in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia with Miss Westcott in the passenger seat. The victim and Miss Westcott were heading towards the Walnut Lane Circle near the Wissahickon Creek in Philadelphia. As the vehicle entered the circle, Miss Westcott pulled out a firearm and shot the victim in the right side of his head. The victim lost control of the vehicle and it collided with another vehicle, ultimately causing it to turn over. Witnesses to the collision observed Miss Westcott immediately climb out of the vehicle and walk away from the scene. Video surveillance later captured Miss Westcott arriving on foot to her mother's home, which was located approximately 3.5 miles away from the scene.
Thank you. In the meantime, Action News has now obtained new surveillance video allegedly showing a murder suspect less than 1 hour after her alleged crime. Neighbors gave us this clip saying it shows a 27-year-old Martina Westcott walking home after police say she killed her ex-boyfriend. Westcott is charged now with shooting 33-year-old Terrell Bruce while driving on Walnut Lane in Mount Airy. Police say Westcott confessed.
As Miss Westcott fled the scene, she threw her jacket over the Walnut Lane bridge. The jacket was later recovered by the Philadelphia Police Department's crime scene unit. Forensic testing revealed gunshot residue, Miss Westcott's DNA, and blood which contained the victim's DNA. In addition, police recovered a firearm, which was buried under leaves in a location along the route that Miss Westcott traveled after the shooting. Police matched the firearm to a handgun that Miss Westcott had purchased a few weeks earlier on November 20, 2016. Miss Westcott did not have a license to carry the firearm, and forensic testing revealed that Miss Westcott's DNA was on the gun. The victim was declared dead at the scene of the shooting. An autopsy was performed by a medical examiner, and it was determined that the victim was shot at close range in his right ear. The bullet was recovered and it matched the gun that Miss Westcott had previously purchased. The court noted that the evidence established that Miss Westcott brutally assassinated the victim, shooting him in the head at point-blank range as he was driving and looking at the road ahead. The evidence also indicated that Miss Westcott's actions were calculated, as she purchased the gun approximately 1 month prior to the murder and ultimately fired the weapon at the victim after he ended their relationship and attempted to cut off all communication with her.
A woman who was facing murder charges in the killing of her ex-boyfriend that led to a crash pled guilty to third-degree murder today. Detectives say Martina Westcott shot 33-year-old Terrell Bruce once in the head while he was driving, causing him to barrel into another car. Westcott admitted that she pulled the trigger today in court. This happened back in December of 2016 while he was driving down Walnut Lane. The two had allegedly been arguing before shots were fired. Westcott's sentencing hearing has now been set for August, and she faces up to 57 years.
In conclusion, on December 28, 2016, accompanied by her mother, Martina Westcott turned herself into Philadelphia police. She was later charged with possessing instruments of crime, carrying firearms on public streets in Philadelphia, carrying a firearm without a license, and murder. On June 18, 2018, Miss Westcott pleaded guilty to third-degree murder and carrying a firearm without a license. On October 9, 2018, Miss Westcott was sentenced to 22 to 44 years in a Pennsylvania state correctional institution. The story you just heard was true and is intended only for informational purposes. Some of the names, locations, and other details have been changed or omitted in efforts to protect the innocent.